Dear students, once again I welcome you all to today's session. In today's session, we are going to learn the manner of articulation as part of consonants. Till previous session we completed vowels, description of vowels. In this session, we're going to see description of consonants. In this session, we're going to learn the manner of articulation. Let's go to the lesson. So, the manner of articulation, we have to learn about the structure involved while producing a sound. The structure involved by the word structure will mean relationship between the active and passive articulators. In other words, do the active and passive articulators touch each other during the articulation of a consonant? Or is the active articulator brought very close to the passive but without touching it? Or are the two articulators brought near each other in such a way that there is a wide gap between them? There are a number of structures involved during the articulation of consonant sounds. If you know the structure involved during the articulation of a consonant, we can describe the manner of articulation of the consonant. This definition was given by T. Balasubramanian. In the manner of articulation, the first thing we're going to see plosives. Plosives are also called stop consonants. What is a plosive? The active and the passive articulators come into contact with each other, creating a structure of complete closure, which prevents the air from escaping to the mouth. The soft palate is raised and it also blocks the nasal passage. The air pressure behind the oral closure builds up and the air gets released explosively when the active articulator is abruptly removed. Repeat, the air pressure behind the oral closure builds up and the air gets released explosively when the air articulator is abruptly removed. The sounds thus produced are called plosives. The plosives in English are the 6 sounds. P, P, C. Complete oral closure, sudden release of the air. P, B, T, D, K, G. Close, so there is complete oral closure and there is sudden release of the air. So even you can find in this picture diagram here how the sound is produced. P, B, T, D, K, G. Next, we're going to see affricates. What is the affricate? The soft palate is raised and touches the back wall of the pharynx and thus closes the nasal passage of air. The active articulator is removed slowly from the passive articulator and the air escapes with slight friction. The affricates in English are ch, j, ch, j. In plosives we saw sudden release of air. Here we can find the active articulator is removed slowly from the passive articulator and the air escapes with slight friction. In plosives there was no friction. In affricate there is friction. So only 2 sounds, ch and j. Ch as in chick, chin, j as in gin, gem. Nasal. There is complete oral closure. The soft palate having been lowered, the air escaped through the nose, producing a nasal consonant. So air escapes through the nose. The nasal consonants in English are 3. mm, mm, mother, man, net, number, king, sing. So these three sounds are called nasal sounds. You can find the diagram how the air escapes nose, nostrils. Next, we're going to see flap, also called tap consonant. Flap or tap. The active articulator strikes against the passive articulator just once. Very. Sorry. Three. We don't say three. We don't say sorry. It's only once. The active articulator, this tongue, strikes a passive articulator here, teeth ridge, only once. Very. Sorry. Three. It's called flap. Next, we're going to see roll or thrill. Here, contrary to the flap or thrill, where we saw the active articulator strikes the passive articulator only once, here it strikes several times. The active articulator strikes against the passive articulator several times. As in red, red, red. It's called roll or thrill. Next, we're going to see fricative. Fricative. The active articulator is brought so close to the passive articulator and the gap between them is so narrow that the air is pushed through this gap with an audible friction. So a fricative is also called a friction consonant. Active articulator is brought so close to the passive articulator and the gap between them is so narrow the air is pushed through this gap with an audible friction. So a fricative is also called a friction consonant. The fricative consonants in English are these sounds. As in five. Very. Van. It's. As in earth. Both. Think. The. They. That. As in sing. Sit. Z, zip, zero, z, sh, sh, shock, shock, j, pleasure, measure, hut, humble. These are called fricatives. Next, lateral. Lateral. In lateral, there is a structure of complete closure in the center of the vocal tract, but the air stream is allowed to escape without friction on the sides. Here, there will be a stricture, but what happens here? Structure of complete closure, but air flows, escapes without friction on the sides. It's only one sound, l, l, as in lip, lamp, lemon, l. Next, we're going to see semiwall. What is semiwall? A semiwall is a vowel glide functioning as consonant. It's not a vowel, but it's a consonant. In English, the semivowels are only two: y, w, y, w. yummy, yawn, wobble, watch, walk, yeah, work. Thank you for watching, and let's meet in the next video.